Hi, everybody. I'll just give it a moment, let people come in, put some earrings in, why not? It's been a hot sec since I have been live. I believe the last time was 2 days ago. So not that long ago, but yeah, I guess it was nice to have a little bit of a break. Going live does take a lot of energy. And it's good to just like recuperate your energy. I did make some content that I released in short form about I'm getting notifications about my own life. Love that. Great. Let's just put it up. Okay. I love it because I can do live. Okay, I'm coming. Hang on. Just give me a second, guys. Oh my god, thank you so. Oh! It burns. Oh my god, are you okay? Thank you so much. Okay. I think I could have done that much more gracefully, but it's okay. I'm not trying to be graceful. Ow, oh my god, something stuck on me. What is this? Oh, it's my earrings. Oh my god, stabbing me. But yeah, today, I had some time away, and I realized that it's not that I'm off track. It's never that, because I believe that we're always on track to, we're always where we're meant to be, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like it. It's because the only reason it feels like that is because, let me just put this light on actually, so we can increase. Okay, better? Yes, better. Yeah, we're always on track, but the thing is, in life, we write scripts, right? We're like, oh, okay, it has to go this way. I have to wake up. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. And then sometimes when we veer away from that, or it doesn't go as planned, as expected, then it creates a sort of, I guess, anxiety within us that we just can't cope with. But these are all matters of the mind, right? I learned something interesting today. I was at the goddaughter, and there's this word that they always use to describe someone who isn't a Gurmukh. So let me just define it actually, because it's one thing I learned from this lady called Princella. So I really liked listening to her content. She's incredibly intelligent and eloquent and well informed and well read. She would talk about men and stuff like that, which I kind of liked at first, because she was talking about like why men are the way that they are at times, the nature of men and women, and how women are naturally submissive and things like that. But what I found was that it was too kind of polarizing, because I decided that I want to live in a world where I can have a healthy relationship with men, and I feel like it was it was kind of affecting that. But yeah, one thing I learned from the queen maker, Princella, is always, look at definitions. Hey, Vinod. Look at definitions. I don't know why I was giggle. Look at definitions, look at words. So, okay, Manmukh, define Manmukh. Because I didn't know that this is specifically what it meant. Manmukh and Gurmukh. Okay, so they always use this word, and I realized it's something that happens in religion, right? There's also a word. So in Sikhism, they have Manmukh and Gurmukh. So a Gurmukh is someone who's oriented towards the Guru, okay? Someone who's guided by the Guru's wisdom and attuned to the Naam, which is the divine presence. They surrender the ego. They live in harmony with Hukam, okay? And a Manmukh is one who follows their mind. And I didn't know that. I thought that they were referring to almost like how in Islam they call people who are non-believers kuffar, right? I always felt like it was kind of like that, but I think it's deeper than that. I think it explains everything when you really think about it, because the reality of life is like who you are is beyond the mind, right? Your mind isn't the be all end all. Let me just get like a white screen up so you can, okay, that helps. Yeah, so there's a state beyond the mind that exists, and that is where God resides. Okay? And the mind itself is very limited. So I was having this thought today when I heard, the guy speak about Manmukh, and how a Manmukh follows his mind. He's led by his mind. Then I thought, okay, it's interesting because in other religions, for example, in Christianity, they say that someone who isn't on that path is a I don't know what the word is specifically for it, but I'm sure there is a word, like a non-believer or something. I don't know. But in Islam, I know they call people who are non-believers kuffar, right? And it's such a bad thing to be a non-believer. To a Shiksa, for example. Yeah, Sikhs are great. Um, very oriented towards service. Side fact, I think it's Sikhs that I heard this fact that in England, when they looked at who had donated the most to charity, they found that it was Sikhs, because one of the doctrines of Sikhism is, seva, which is selfless service, because everybody is you, which is something that I will kind of circle back to. Let me write that down. I have so many things to say. Okay, seva and the Tao. Okay, so yeah, non-believers, right? So, I've had it before where my religious friends who were Muslim and Christian, both of them, decided to tell me that I'm gonna go to hell. And today I had this thought, okay, why do they believe that? The reason they are told that is because not having a relationship with God is like being in hell. You are living in hell if you do not have a relationship with God. If you do not have a relationship with the divine, it is like living in hell. Because imagine not knowing that you are supported, that you are loved, that you are living in a extremely benign, benevolent universe. I mean, you could have that belief, because, okay, look, I'm talking about God, but God is yourself slash the you that is beyond like the ego, right? The you that is beyond personality. So when I say have a relationship with self, it wouldn't be have a relationship with Priya right now, like Priya's personality. It would be more like who Priya really is, and you can't have a relationship with God. What do you mean? Is it because of the wording? Of course, I know that sometimes wording, we can get in a bit too deep into it, and it can kind of make things harder to understand, because wording can be very shallow, right, and confusing, and you hear what you want to hear sometimes. I do believe if you're kind and genuine, then you will go to whatever version of heaven you believe in, if you even believe in religion. No, I don't see. Okay, interesting. I see what you're trying to say there, but I don't really believe in an externalized version of heaven or hell. I believe everything exists now. And I read somewhere, even the word present is misleading, because the word present suggests that there was a past and a future, whereas these things don't actually exist, right? There is something beyond time and space. Like time and space are not absolute. God is beyond time and space. But yeah, the point being, these religions and the things that they say about non-believers, I feel like I kind of get where they're coming at. I'm not agreeing with them. I'm not justifying them. I'm not saying they're right or whatever, but I'm just saying I kind of get it, why they say that. Because, I mean, even in Sikhism, let me read this book. There was, was it this one? Yeah, this is a book by Sant Maskeen Ji, who's a really great, like, he does katha. So katha is, someone who speaks on certain things. And he said something really cool. Okay, let me find it. Was it in this one? I think it was. Did I read this far into it? I don't remember. Oh God, where are you? Something like where is it? Something, okay, it was really you know, honing in on the point of it is incredibly important to have a relationship with God, because having a relationship with God is being aware of the consciousness that exists, right? Because God is consciousness. God is the primordial. Hey, Greg. But they also use the concept of hell to cause fear, and fear equals control. It's been warped by religious teachings to become political, not spiritual. Incredibly correct. Yes. There's this really cool post that I saw today about religion that I did post about on my YouTube, that I had to, like, I made a post of it, but I'll read it to you. Okay, so the creator does not belong to any religion. The creator gave us life, not doctrine. Doctrine? Truth is not owned by books, temples, or men. Truth is found in alignment with light, in action, intention, and remembrance. I am Indian, yes. Every religion started with someone who remembered, but the moment we turned their message into control, we lost the message. No child is born with religion. They are born with a soul, and that is the true temple. The sun does not ask for worship, it just shines. And, you know, I went on to write, let me read what I wrote, because I really liked it. I think it just really sums everything up. Where are my posts? Okay, these are my videos. Okay. Yeah, there are infinite ways to reach the divine. Religion, at its core, was never meant to put God into a box or create walls between us. It was meant to be a tool, a path to help us reconnect with the divine presence that already lives within us and around us. But somewhere along the way, people started to cling to the form instead of the essence. They identified with the label of the path. Sikhism, Christianity, Islam, instead of the destination, with the outer structure instead of the inner spirit of what it's trying to tell you. This is the problem. This is what I kind of want to reiterate, that religion isn't the be all end all. It's not the identity that you take from it. It's what it's trying to teach you that is the most important thing. And hey, I'm godly. Oh my God, is my God not a cow? I mean, that is very very stereotypical, isn't it? Stereotyping? Okay, but here's the truth. God cannot be owned. God cannot be imposed. So sometimes people come in here and they're like, oh my God, Jesus is the only way. Jesus is the only way. You know, and like kind of imposing their beliefs on everybody. I get it. If you, you know, let me just, I'm godly. I'm gonna make you a mod. So, there we go. And Greg, why not? Because okay, Greg's already on there. Okay, cool. So yeah, what was I saying? Let me continue. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, okay, yeah. The people who try to come in the live sometimes, for example, I'm godly. I'm godly. I did not grow up in the US. I live in England. Sweet. Hi, good morning. It's actually afternoon here, but it's okay. Time is just it's not really absolute, is it? Oh my God, it's raining so much. It's nice. But yeah, people sometimes come in here and they try to impose their religious beliefs onto other people, and you know, they get I guess mad. No, do they get mad? Very passionate. The thing is, I get it. If it helped you, of course it helped you, you know, and I'm glad to hear that. But like I always say, I literally say this all the time. Greg. Oh god. You know what? I should pin your comment, Greg. Pin message. There we go. It answers most of the questions people have, right? So yeah, that's why I always remind you, a connection with God isn't about the identity you choose, but the frequency that you reside in, the awareness you carry, and the alignment you choose, moment by moment. Even the word religion comes from the Latin religar, which means to bind back or to reconnect. Its true meaning is not about separation. It's about reuniting, binding us back to source, to our soul, to our truth, that we are never separate from the divine, and not just to the divine, but everybody. So today I woke up, right, and it's okay, Sandeep. I forgive you. It's okay that you thought that I was. I guess you're just trying to ensure that I'm being authentic, and of course that matters. So don't even stress. But yeah, one of the most important things is reuniting, like I said, not just to the divine, but to each other. So today I woke up and I did, you know, the Sam Harris meditations that I like to do. And it was interesting. So I'll talk you through it. What happened was that he told me to think of something that I regretted, okay? Like think of something that I wasn't too happy about. So I thought about the fact that I didn't wake up early. And I wasn't thinking about the fact that I didn't wake up early, but the thought that I felt bad about not waking up early, because recently I haven't been waking up as I usually do. And of course, there are thoughts that come around with that, and there's a sense of guilt that I became aware of that I was feeling because of that. So I brought that into my you know, into my awareness. So I was sitting there and I thought, okay, the fact that I feel guilty about not having woken up early today or even in the past few days. And then he told me to just become aware of that feeling, okay? He said, just feel the regret in your body, feel the sensations. And that is what happens, right? When we feel anything, when we feel good, when we feel bad, when we feel guilty, angry, sad, what is it? It's nothing but a series of sensations in your body. So what you do is you become aware of them. You bought into them. You go into them. So I was sitting there and I'm just really going into it. I'm not trying to escape it like we usually do, like run away, you know, run for the hills. We don't want to feel this crappy feeling. I don't want to feel the guilt, but I just went into it. And then that was it. He didn't say go out of it. He didn't say feel happy now or change it. He just said sit with it. And then there was a moment of silence where I was just silent. And then he said, this is just an appearance in consciousness. It is not consciousness itself. Consciousness itself doesn't morph into anything. These things, emotions, thoughts, feelings, they are just appearances in consciousness. And then I had this sense of oneness, this sense of connecting with the consciousness everywhere, right? Beyond my body, beyond this system, right? Like beyond just this space around me, but to all of the consciousness everywhere. And then I went to the goddaughter, and then I was sitting and I was meditating there. And then I became aware. I like to kind of tune in to that awareness because it felt amazing. I was like, whoa, this is your truth, Priya. You know, this isn't who you are. Your consciousness. And you're like, all of these things are just appearances in consciousness. Things just seem so real when we open our eyes, right? When we talk, when we get lost in the mire of things. But it's not reality. And the more you can remember that, the better it is for you, because you're always aware. This is why remembering God is such a great thing. Always be in remembrance of God, because being in remembrance of God is being in remembrance of what is true. And this isn't true. This is Maya, okay? This is fake. This is an illusion. But always not, like, be in this world, but don't be of it, okay? So that's, of course, be in this physical world. I'm not telling you to go live in a mountain and be by yourself and live in a jungle and just meditate, because that's not Like, that's just you escaping, you know? Be in this world because that's how you were intended to be. You wouldn't be here otherwise, in reality, in society with people. But don't be of it. Always be attached to your inner world where you understand that this isn't the truth. So that's what I did. I was sitting there and then I could hear people talking right around me. And then I became aware, okay, my thoughts are just an appearance in consciousness. My body is just an appearance in consciousness. Thought, you know, like whoever this ego is, this identity is just an appearance in consciousness. In fact, I am everything. This means any voice that I hear outside of me, anyone speaking, anyone moving, it's me. And it kind of gave me like a different way of seeing people rather than just seeing them. I will respond to the comments. Let me drive my point home. But yeah, I was like, whoa, it kind of just made me feel very connected to people, because that is what, for example, enlightened beings do, right? When you become a Brahmgyani, for example, or enlightened being, or a sant or sadhu or something like that, you see God in everybody, because consciousness is everywhere. Everything is just an appearance in consciousness, and you are part of that consciousness. Does that make sense? Like, I had a true visceral experience of that. Okay. Yeah, people ask questions. One has to see the divine in each other. Both are not separate. Yes, love that. One may or may not find the divine in the buildings or books or such. Exactly. Well, the thing is, you know, God is everywhere, right? God is in the books. God is in the buildings. God is in the people. Because everything is consciousness. So God is consciousness, right? Hi, Sushmita. How are you? I came here about the abrasive, but as a conversation is gross, I feel bad about that. That's okay, Kuba. Sorry, I'm responding a little bit late. Were you being abrasive? I was gonna say you sound exactly like my best friend that's definitely in the UK. Okay. Which country are you from now? Did that not get tagged? Oh, the tattoos. I'll tag that too. I'll tag all the questions anybody ever asks. I know Greg has tagged some of them. And I'm glad to hear it, Sushmita. Okay. So we were talking about Sikhs and how you know, they have this thing of seva, which is selfless service, right? Because in life we need to give more than we take, right? Because, you know, I also had this thought. I think love is giving. Or then I had this thought of like, okay, so does that mean that if you love, you should just give, and what about receiving? Should we not receive? But I think I'll tell you what I thought. Okay, so it's allowing flow. Okay, it's allowing energy to flow. So you are a vessel and you want to allow energy to flow. So you want to allow energy to go into you, as in be able to receive it well, be grateful, right? And then allow things to flow out of you as well. So it's like constantly a circle, right? Things are coming in, you're grateful, you're happy to receive, you're not being like, no, don't give to me. For example, when I was in India, I remember my sister telling me, she said, you know, when I try to tip people, some people say no. They're like, no, we don't want to be tipped. We don't want to be tipped. And it kind of felt like maybe they didn't deserve. They felt that they didn't deserve to receive, because it tended to be people who were not of a higher like a social class. So yeah, like that was the thought. Like, do they not feel like they have enough value to be able to receive? Why are you not receiving? You know, you're being given this out of happiness. It's gratitude money. And we should be able to receive that. We shouldn't be like, no. I mean, it's one of those things, you know, I'm Indian, you know, I'm Godly has done the favor of telling you guys. And one thing that is prevalent in Indian culture is if you go to someone's house, you'll give them pyar, okay, which means love. You'll give them love, and then the way that you express love is you'll give them money. So if they have kids, you go to someone's house, you'll give them money. But like, for example, when guests would come over and they would try to give, you know, us kids money, my parents would be like, no, 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 and there's like physical fighting because they don't want us to receive the money, because they don't want to receive, maybe because they feel like it's a burden or something, but they're happy to give. So my parents were happy to give, like, here, take this food, take this, here, you have money, we go to their house, you take it, but there's a problem in receiving. So the point being is, you're a vessel, you're meant to receive and you're meant to let go. You're meant to receive, you're meant to let go, and it's meant to happen with ease because it's a channel, okay? Think of it as a channel, like a, not like a TV channel, but like a channel, like, for example, in your cells, you have channels, right? The gates that open to allow different chemicals in to the cells, right? I think, yeah. A protein channel, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. So the channel needs to be open so you can let things in, and then to be honest, you don't really need to show it, but whatever, sure, show it. And then you let things out. You can let things in, you let things out. You let things in, you let things out. And then it works great. Because if we can only let things out and things can't come in, then the channel is shut. It's difficult to give if you can't receive as well. There's meant to be a balance of both things. You're not just meant to give, you're meant to receive as well. But giving is very important, you know. We have so much energy and love, and that just wants to be expressed. And when it's not expressed, it manifests into other things. Okay, love is when people are sharing a connection to each other. Okay, could you go? Sometimes people may not be able to receive or to provide love due to various situations. See, love exists in everybody. Okay, everybody has love, but they have a closed heart, so they're not able to open it. Because what happens sometimes is we get hurt, right? We go through pain, we go through heartbreak, we go through trauma, and then we're like, okay, I'm gonna shut this thing now, you know, and throw it away. But then it becomes an issue because you're not allowing yourself to love people, but you're not allowing love in either. And what kind of a life is that? If you're living a life where you can't give or receive love. Love is everything. Love is the most important thing in life. Love is God. God is holy, benign. God is loving. God is compassion. That is our true nature. If we come away from that, you'll just be miserable. And not only are you miserable yourself, but you're making other people miserable. Because you know what happens? Because I've been reading this book, right? I'm so happy to get this. Greg, let me know if you've read this. You probably have, maybe. Maybe, yeah. But yeah, it's talking about energy, okay? And it's talking about how we are all born with a good nature. Everybody is born with compassion, with virtues, all right? With compassion, kindness, love, awareness, naturally. You read that. Okay. You don't have to. Sorry, give me a second. Yeah, hello? I'm live, babe.
Oh.
Do you want to come say hello? Live. Say hi. Say hi. Come say hi. Come on.
Hi, live.
Say hi.
I'm fine.
Why?
No, I'm fine.
Just wave your hand.
Maybe like in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a message? Anything you want to share with anybody?
If you follow your passions, don't give up. Trust me. Even if you pull, no, you're not pull. Even if you pull, even if you don't have the best of things, it works, okay? Because we used to be poor, now we got rich.
Okay. Are you done? Yeah. Can you go on there in a bit?
In how long?
In like in an hour? It's 2:25.
Okay.
Yeah. Good virtues. Everybody has kindness, gentleness, respect. These are basic things. But then what happens is when we get older, we don't know how to channel that energy. Let me see what it says specifically, actually. Hang on, just give me a second. For key women losing energy. Okay, yeah, this is it. Yeah, okay, so as you grow up, all kinds of cultural and social influences gradually change all the good virtues. The person begins to live under constant stress, feeling the pressures of hastiness, anger, fear, worry, and other negative emotions. And then they eat up your life force energy. So, you become more negative. You're more likely to entertain negative emotions. And then that takes away from your life force energy. What am I drinking? I'm drinking tea, so it has hibiscus in it. It has turmeric in it. I kind of just mixed loads of things: turmeric, cumin, sauf. I don't know how to say that in English. Ajwain? No, wait, I don't know. Sauf. It's the thing you put in Indian tea, guys. It's not about particular religion. Every religion preaches its own way. We share knowledge. One has to be rich in moral values to see the divine in each other's lives. Not everyone has it, so they find a connection in substances instead. See, VJ, everybody is born with it. Every child is born with it. But what happens is that it gets worn down as you get older and older by different influences, and then you come away from that, and then you have all that energy, and then you go to substances. So young people are actually more likely to get addicted to substances because they have all of this energy, right? You have so much energy, and then you don't know how to channel that energy, and then you end up just channeling it into substances. And then what happens is any substance that you take takes energy from you. Is porn a substance? I mean, that's a really good question. Thank you for that. It could be, okay, it depends what you think a substance is. A substance could be something tangible, like alcohol or drugs or smoking or something like that, right? Or it could be a substance that is, you could say that it also refers to things that are intangible. For example, porn. Young people are fresh out of the oven, the rest of us are old and soggy. Just kidding. See, the reason people get old and soggy, Wade, is because they don't channel their energy correctly. You lose your energy. So men lose their energy through ejaculation, and women lose their energy through their menstrual cycle. So you have a unit of energy, okay? So a total unit of energy. That's what they say in the Tao. They say that everybody gets a certain amount of energy. This energy is supplemented in your life, right? You have an abundance of it till you're 24. So let's say there's 100. Let's say it's credits. Let's say you have 100 credits. You get these credits from eating, from resting, from exercise. And then every day you have expenditures, right? I need to eat, I need to digest, I need to walk, I need to breathe, I need to work. That requires energy. So you're using up your credits. That takes about 60 to 70% of your credits. As you get older, you have less and less energy available to you, but you still have the same amount of expenditure. So what happens is that your body starts to take energy from your organs. This is why you start to have different types of diseases, right? Kidney disease, kidney failure, lung disease, liver, heart. It takes it from your brain. But there is a way to recycle that energy. There is a way to get more life force energy, which is called chi, right? I don't know if you guys have heard of chi energy, but it's to get chi energy back into you by recycling your sexual energy. And then you have more energy available to you. And then you don't grow old and you don't age. Aging is not a thing that is it's like a standard thing, almost like death. Like death is something that is like expected. Let me just open a window because it's really warm. Okay. But yeah, it's not like that. Okay, so there's a way that you can reverse aging. There is a way that you can stay young. There are so many people who have done it, right? You just have to take care of yourself now. Okay, your voice is so good. How can I speak like you? I don't know how you can speak like me, but you can speak like the best version of you, and that'll be great. That's the best thing that you can do. Trying to imitate someone else will never be good enough. Besides, you're unique for a reason. Meditation, I feel, helps it harness this energy also. That's correct, Wade. Yeah, it's a really good way to up your energy again. Because, I realized meditation is like the easiest place to be. Like, my sister was telling me this, okay? She went out yesterday, right? To like a social event. And she said, you know, I told myself that I'm going to just be relaxed. I'm going to be my body. She called all of her energy back. So that's a great thing that you can do. You can reverse aging, VJ. You can. You just have to, trust me, you can. It's possible. Anything is possible. But yeah, she went to this event, and before she went there, she said, I call all of my energy back. So that's a great exercise you can do. You say, I call all of my energy back, and you feel it coming back to you from every place, person, situation, circumstance, dimension, right? Feel it coming back to you. She did this, and then she went out and she said, I felt so good. I felt so in my body. It felt so good to be there. I felt relaxed. I wasn't overthinking. You know, I wasn't stressing. I didn't care what people thought. I was just having a good time. 82, but she looks 22. It's the truth, guys. I'm 82. You caught me. But yeah, she said it felt good. And guys, that's the normal way to be. That is the norm, okay? That is how we're meant to be. We're meant to be relaxed. We're meant to be calm. We're not meant to be overthinking. Less is more. Less is more. I don't know why the camera's like freaking out. But, okay. How to learn spoken English like you. Well, I live in England, hence why I speak like this. But practice, watch English things, talk English. Do energy drinks refill your energy? No, they do not. Anything unnatural, just don't take. Anything that hinders a real connection to others in life can be seen as a substance. Wow, I love that. I feel my positive energy flew away. I'm being negative. How can I be positive? Look, inside of us, just remember, hi Julia, just remember that you already have positive energy within you, okay? I don't know why it's being like this. Why are you being like this? Is it okay? I think it's the light from the sun. It's okay, as long as you can see me. But yeah, you already have positive energy within you. You already have all the great virtues in you. You just have thoughts. First of all, it's a thought that I'm being negative now. That thought is not true. That's just a thought. You just have to become the witness again. Step away. Don't even try to be positive or negative. Just be. Just be. Because you being is full of love anyway. You know, that's your natural state of being is bliss. So don't try to be positive. Don't try to stop being negative. Just be. Positivity is a mindset. Yeah. Okay, I used to smoke a lot of Zaza, but now I'm sober since a very long time. I feel all my positive energy has been drained away from me. I thought being sober would make me feel good, but I don't feel good. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let's go into this, Movie Geek. So you feel that it's been drained away from you. Is that true? Is it 100% true? Is it all gone? Can it truly be all gone? There's I would say, a lot to explore with that. Do you meditate? Do you connect to yourself? Like, what kind of habits do you have? And to be honest, even if we just look at the thought itself, thoughts can be declarations, okay? Like, that right there feels like a declaration. If we just question that, like, is that 100% fact? And then you might be like, oh, you know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not that I've lost all of my positive energy. Then you don't feel so bad, right? And there's ways that you can like regenerate positive feelings. They're always inside of you. I don't believe that you can ever lose them. It's just who you are. Okay. Yeah, Greg, so you were saying, so what Rio did was a meditative practice. Yeah, exactly. The window, happiness is, okay, Julia, welcome to our channel. So which religion is all of this that you preach from, and so which is the religion to follow? Rather, I'm not preaching a particular religion. I'm just talking about the truth of life. Religion is about the truth, okay? But religion has become segregated. It's become its own entity. I'm not talking about that entity. I'm just talking about the truth. We don't have to label it as a religion, a spirituality, as disbelief or Taoism or Buddhism or anything like that. The truth. Just let it be the truth. The truth is, this is not your truth. This world, Radha, you are not Radha, okay? There is someone beyond Radha that exists. the truth of you is consciousness. That you are everything, you are everywhere, that God is all there is, and you are part of God, right? The creator and the creation are one and the same. It's like a dancer and the dance. God is the dancer and the dance. If I get rid of the dance, you don't really have a dancer anymore, right? If I get rid of the dancer, you don't have a dance. The two are just interlinked. You can't have one without the other. So I'm not preaching any religion. I don't have cravings to get high, but staying sober is kind of not my thing. Okay, interesting. Why? Okay, I feel like you did reply. I feel like I haven't achieved shit ever since I stayed sober. I thought I'm gonna be super successful if I got sober, but I was wrong. See, let me tell you something, movie geek. Staying sober is very tiring. It's been almost a year I'm sober. I must have set unrealistic expectations that my life would get good if I stayed sober, but I was completely wrong. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for sharing that. Second of all, let me let you into a little secret. I had been smoking weed ever since I was 18, so nearly 10 years. Okay, and I get it when you get into that. And it was just it wasn't just weed, alcohol, cigarettes, etc. And yeah, it's hard. It feels, it can be difficult. Okay, what am I saying? I stopped. Let me just tell you how it happened. Okay, so I knew that smoking weed for me just was not the one, because my relationship to it was very abusive. I was abusing it. When you're taking too much of something, when you're dependent on it, your relationship with it won't be great. But I don't even have any cravings, but I still would like to get high. It's really hard for me to explain. I get it. It's when you're so used to getting high. What it sounds like, movie geek, is that you want to escape. You feel like life isn't the way that you want it to be, and you thought that just getting sober would be the solution to everything. The thing is, look, stopping doing something is the first step, but you have to make changes to your life. You have to change your habits. You have to do different things. You can't just expect to be successful without having done anything. You have to take action. You have to take steps. You have to do the work. I stopped smoking weed. That didn't mean that I just thought, okay, life is just gonna magically get better now. I had to do, I was like, okay, now I have enough time to follow my passions, do other things. Prayers from you. Let me just, there we go. Now people know. Okay. That drug increases your dopamine threshold. Yes, exactly. So you know what happens? So in the book, what it says is that it takes more and more energy from you. So, okay, look, all substances, what they do is they come in, right, and you feel a certain thing because they're drawing energy from your body, okay? Because when you're young, you have so much energy, so you get really high. It feels really great. But as you get older, you have less and less energy. So you need a powerful drug, or you need a higher, you need more of that dose, right? So it feels less and less amazing like it did the first time. For example, with heroin, what do they say? The first high is always great with heroin, right? And the other highs are always you trying to chase that same high. It's like coffee. Coffee is a substance. Coffee is a drug. Coffee draws on your energy, right? It strips you of magnesium. It draws on your energy, and then you crash again, and then you need more, and then you crash again, and then you need more, and then you crash again. It's like sugar. Anything that takes you up too high, just best believe you're gonna fall further down. Like MDMA, for example. I don't know if you guys have ever taken any like MDMA or something like that, but MDMA works in the same way. It makes you feel really, really good, really, really, really energetic. And then the next day you're practically dying. It's like the worst thing ever. You feel very, very, very depressed. So, movie geek, relying on substances is not the solution. You getting higher is not going to take you anywhere. You're just going to be stuck in the same cycle again. And why go back to it if you've worked so hard to get away from that? Reply again. I hate coffee. I'm more into tea. Okay, tea. Well, what kind of tea? She seems like she would be a great lawyer or therapist. That shit made me wait. What made you smart? Wait, let me see. Sorry. Nietzsche. Sorry, Nietzsche. Okay, the fact that USP. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm just like behind on the comments. Give me a second. True, I'm aware. Okay. Thank you, Vijay. True fact you were speaking. I know we should respect our parents. Don't use mobile too much. Eat healthy. Get good sleep. Exercise daily. Read books. Okay. I fucking know everything. Okay. You've done enough to understand enough. Interesting. Interesting. Do I have LinkedIn? Can I talk to you? Would you in what under what manner? What would you like to discuss? We all know everything going on. I mean, not disrespectful way. That's okay. I get it. You know, I can sense your frustration. I feel like you've kind of tried everything. Let me ask you this: what did you enjoy to do when you were a child? What gave you joy? Everybody knows what they have to do in order to change, but it's hard to take action. These are declarations that you are making. It's hard to make changes. It's hard to do this. Do you see? You're writing a script and you don't even see it. Just don't have any thoughts about it. Just do it. Okay, you enjoyed video games. You know, Movie Geek, when we've gone through things like addictions, right? It's a form of trauma, okay? It is traumatizing to be addicted, to be in that place in your life. And sometimes all you need is rest. So maybe rather than thinking, oh, I have to go out and like, I have to go and try to be successful, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. What about just resting? What about just showing some compassion to yourself and taking care of yourself and just doing things simply for the sake of doing them? For the joy of it, you know? Play video games. Allow yourself to reconnect with that inner child of yours again. You know, form a connection. Forming a connection with yourself again is where joy lies. And maybe, because like the way you was like, oh, okay, everybody knows, don't go on your phone, don't listen to your, what did you say? Don't listen to your parents? Or something like that. Let me see. Respect your parents, get good sleep, exercise daily, you know, read books. You kind of like the way that I'm reading it, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like, everybody knows that, you know? It doesn't sound like those things excite you, which is fair enough because they don't sound very exciting when you put it like that. You know, they're just standard things. What lights you up? Okay. Stop everything. You have beautiful wallpaper. Do you want to see it? It's a tapestry. I'm meant to get my look how pretty it is. It's so pretty. Thank you. Okay. Being compassionate to oneself is key. Exactly. No life and health will follow. Some smart guy probably. Interesting. So I mean, I get it, but urge gets more and more intense until a peak point. Your body can't handle the effect of suddenly stopping. Look, it's going to be crap, like, it's going to be not so great, and then it'll be great again, okay? It's going to be like, oh, my board, oh, buddy, okay. Let me just, it's warm. I'm surprised, I don't know how it got so warm. It's like raining, then it's sunny, and then it's raining, okay. Okay, so... Let me write addictions backwards, okay? I'm proud of you, Bria. Look at you. You did it! You wrote it backwards! Yes, okay. So, I guess I should draw it backwards as well. Okay, so you're gonna be... Okay. It's always easier to, like, explain things through visuals. I love visuals. So, like, you were here, you're on a high, it goes low. And slowly, depending on the work you do. Okay. Addictions, right? So let's say this is where you're still getting high, and then, okay, like oh, okay, okay. Okay, this is where you quit, okay? So, here, like, let's see, look. This here, right? You're still getting high, okay? So you're here, you're like up here. Life feels great. it feels wonderful because it feels normal to be high. You know, at one point I forgot what it feels like to not be high, to be my sober self. I forgot who she was. I didn't even know who she was, okay, because I used to get high so often. So yeah, okay, look, you're here, right? And then you stop. You suddenly stop. And then, okay, let's say it kind of goes downhill very quickly, to be honest. It doesn't just go eventually. It's like low. It's a drop. Okay, look. Expect to see this. You quit, so you get high, any substance, you quit, and then it's boom. You experience a low, and that is important. And then eventually, with the work you do, you're not just magically going to get high, right? I mean, to be honest, sorry, not high. Slowly, you will get used to being sober and not escaping anymore. Reply to Wade, please. Okay, sorry. Toddy. What's Wade saying? A will to overcome. Can attention be an addiction? Attention be an addiction? I mean, like to what? Like paying attention to, for example, porn, right? Like we pay attention to porn. Or okay, yeah, it can be an addiction in terms of, let's say I only pay attention to negativity because I have a negative mindset. That can be an addiction. People are addicted to being negative. It's where an addiction is where you can't control it. It just happens. It's like an unconscious thing because it's become so habitual. For example, you look for negativity all the time. You look for reasons to kind of find bad things happening in your life. Hi Pratham. Yeah, it's a new tapestry. But doesn't science prove that a sudden stop after a strong long addiction can cause physical and mental irreversible issues to the person? I don't know. I don't know. I was not aware of that. That's I guess it depends. For example, things like harder drugs. Let's say you've been drinking alcohol a lot, like you're a really intense alcoholic. Yeah, I guess stopping alcohol altogether may be really, really bad for you. You know, you have to wean yourself off things like that. But for me, I used to smoke weed every day, probably not as much as someone who's a proper smoker. So I guess it wasn't that bad for me. But I don't know, for me, I think I've always found that just stopping cold turkey worked for me. But everybody's different, right? So I couldn't speak for everybody. Attention is different from addiction, but it can become one if not being specifically retention. Hello Punjabi Korea. Hi, where are you from? Where I'm from is in the pinned comments. I want to talk about something that I cannot hear publicly. I love your solutions, by the way. Okay, yeah, sure. You can email me if you want. If you go to my video, let me just pin my let me just get my channel up, and then I'll pin my email address, and then you can email me, and then we can discuss on there what you would like. No. No. I'm sorry. Don't switch to view my channel. Okay. Okay, Priya. Oh. .com. That is me, isn't it? Let me just double check. That should be me. No, that's the alchemy quest. Okay, Miss Pervani. Okay, no, delete. No, ignore that. That's not it. Sorry, that's not it. Come on, Priya, you should know. Your email address. I have so many different ones. Okay, Miss Priya Rani at outlook.com. No. Miss Priya Rani at outlook.com. Ye hui na baat. Okay. Outlook and not Gmail. Yeah, you don't like Gmail? I love Outlook. I love Gmail. I don't know what's the difference. I don't know. I'm not into the politics of the different email addresses. Hi Scorpio. Hi, my name is Priya, by the way. Sorry, Priya is from UK. There you go. Thanks, Greg. It's just a viewpoint of mine. Let's say a girl in my office is addicted to attention. She needs attention from every guy. When someone does not give her attention, she gets mad. You know, I had this thought today. Oh my god. Okay, so you know how this is something I wanted to ask ChatGPT, but we can do it in real time. Okay, so I was meditating, okay, and I realized that I like attention. I do. We all love attention. You know you do. You know you do. Who doesn't love attention? Of course you do. I freaking love attention, you know? You know, and I'm like, oh, okay, is that just part of my ego, or is that something to do with consciousness? Because the observer effect, right? Okay, we'll work through this, because this is something that I had a thought about. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go away, I'm gonna go and speak to, it's always nice to meet you. Oh, Priya. Likewise, Vijay, are you going? Okay, can you explain the observer. Okay, so I had this thought today that I love attention whilst meditating, and then I realized, wait, how would I even word this? I said, can you explain the observer effect to me, please? Because in relation to this thought that I had, in relation to this, I hope I'm making sense, that I had. Okay, then I realized, is this coming from my ego or just my pain? Consciousness. Does that make sense? Let's see. Okay. So, in quantum physics, the observer effect, I don't know if you guys know about the observer effect. Let me just read the comments quickly. I can't understand what you were saying, but it feels good. Great. Love that. Introverts do not like attention, I guess. Why I'm not speaking in Hindi, sister. हम हिंदी इतनी बोलते नहीं हैं. हिंदी इतनी पता नहीं, मैं वैसे मेरा चैनल है पंजाबी में, वो जे आप उसको जाके फॉलो करो. मेरे 100 फॉलोअर्स हो चुके हैं. फिर मैं वहाँ लाइव जाऊंगी, तो मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगी. Okay, promise. So get that channel up to 100 subscribers. I should probably post on there more, but then I guess I can go live and speak Punjabi and Hindi freely and not feel like I'm kind of I'm not giving everybody else attention, I guess. Let me just read the comments quick time. Okay, we like attention because, okay, wait, all animals love attention. If done right, a bird scares easy but still loves attention. Interesting. We like attention because it implies validation, and when you rely on others to make you feel anyway, your actions become less genuine and you'll always think in relation to others. See, this is interesting because technically, of course that's true, but if we think about it this way, if a child doesn't get attention, the child can't survive, right? A child that is neglected, that severely impacts the child. So maybe attention, of course, there's an attention where, we don't act authentically because we want, like, we act out to get attention. But what about if you're being yourself, like you're being authentic and you like being, like, having attention? Because, I saw recently somewhere that one of the sexiest things you can do is give someone your attention. Like, in terms of, let's say, sexual intimacy, it's not about the way that you touch them or anything like that. It's more about, are you paying attention to them? So maybe attention, there's like a deeper thing to attention. Because what is attention? Attention is presence, right? It's giving your energy to something. And attention is actually a really big thing when you think about it, because of course in childhood you need attention. When you're older in relationships, attention is really important, right? Like people, you want your family to pay attention to you, you want them to see if you're not feeling okay, you want them to be present with you, right? And in sexual intimacy, you don't want to be sexually intimate with someone who's not even paying attention to you, because just looking at someone can be everything, you know. But let me see what ChatGPT makes of this. Okay, so in quantum physics, the observer effect, I don't know if you guys know about this, but the observer effect is something that is in quantum physics that shows that the act of observation changes the outcome. For example, in the double slit experiment, particles behave differently when they are being observed, right? Because consciousness behaves differently when it's being observed. So maybe we like being observed. So spiritually, this is understood as where your attention goes, energy flows. Your consciousness itself shapes reality. So by you looking at something, you give it life. For example, they say if no one saw a tree fall in a forest, did it really fall? The thing is, no, it's not, because it's your observation, it's your presence that changes things. So in the double slit experiment, let me just quickly get that up so I can explain it to you. Could you explain the double slit experiment, please? Please, in layman's terms, Okay. Okay, so I'm going to explain the double slit experiment for those of you who are not familiar with it. Let me know if you are familiar with it. Let me just check. You guys show up here when I was 22. Okay. Let's not give them really, can you speak in an Indian accent? Actually, you speak, sorry, I'm so sorry. I speak too fast. I just get too excited. Indian accent. Yes, I can speak in an Indian accent. Do you like it? You want me to just talk like this for the whole time? I can try, you know. I think I'm getting better and better at my Indian accent, to be honest. What do you think? Looking at someone is not everything pretty. We have to speak to someone to know them. Of course, of course, of course. But silence can be everything, you know. Language is very shallow at times. Language can be misconstrued, but looking at someone, being completely present with them, I think that there's a like a particular type of energy in that. For example, in Osho's True Book, you know, he talks about how saints, when they gain so much like when they stay silent for so long, let me find it. I definitely have written notes about that. Okay, so it was something about a fakir and like someone who's very, very enlightened. They don't even have to say anything, they communicate with their eyes. And for example, you know, when you go to a guru, don't expect the guru to like physically teach you something verbally, but just being in his silence. I mean, I guess not just like, when I mean attention, I don't just mean looking at someone. It's deeper than that. It's presence, what I'm referring to. Vicky, I would never make fun of your broken English. I can't hear it anyway, so not that I wouldn't. Why would I? Masculinity and feminine natures are different from speaking to each other and listening to each other. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, the double slit experiment is like a It's like a really cool experiment. Kidding. It's a very interesting experiment to understand the reality of life and consciousness. So okay, the setup. So you have a wall, and then they had two slits in the wall, okay, cut into it, and behind the wall is a screen. So let me try to draw it out for you, okay? I'm gonna do my best. Okay. So this is the wall, okay, and this is the screen. Okay. This is a screen with two slits cut in it. Okay. Wall. So what they did was, this is the screen, okay? So they had two slits, hence why it's called a double slit experiment. So what they did was they fired a tiny electrons from here, okay? So let's say this is the journey of the electron, the firing, okay? So what you would expect, if you throw tiny balls through slits, they would just go through one slit or the other and form two bands on the screen. Two holes, two lines. So I guess it was meant to look like that, right? But what actually happened was, when they fired these particles, instead of forming two bands, they formed an interference pattern. So instead of looking like that, it kind of looked like this, I guess. Okay? Okay. This means that the particles act like waves going through both slits at once, interfering with themselves. So matter isn't behaving like solid little marbles, it's acting out like energy. So matter that we see, that we think is very still, right, and like, I don't know what the word for it is, like structured, doesn't behave like that if it's not being observed. It behaves as a wave. So the things that we aren't paying attention to are just waves of potential. That's what life is full of, just waves of potential. In science, to observe means to interact in any way with a phenomenon not quite conscious observed, as we usually mean with the word. However, one particle is all particles before it manifests is interesting. But yeah, okay, let me just go on to back, like what he actually found out. She? Okay, so out of attention, at first it seems like it could be the ego, wanting validation. Ego thrives on being seen, admired, acknowledged. But then another layer, it might not just be ego, it might be consciousness itself enjoying being observed, noticed, and witnessed. Yeah, so why don't we swap out attention with awareness? So ego-driven attention is, I need others to notice me so I feel worthy. That's external and that's dependent, right? Whereas consciousness-driven attention consciousness is attention. It naturally loves awareness because its very nature is to be seen and to see. Because the self is enjoying its own light rather than craving others' eyes. So yeah, it wasn't like I needed people to see me so I felt worthy. It was more, I just enjoy being seen. Because, like, for example, one of the worst things that you can do to someone is ignore them, right? To make, like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but what the you gotta keep up, Dax. Yeah, like, one of the worst things you can do to someone is to make them feel invisible, right? To completely ignore them. I mean, they say the silent, what is it, the silent method? The silent, no, Pri, you're tricking yourself with that. Everyone seeks validation. It's human nature, or else you wouldn't survive in this world. Fair point. Fair point. I don't know. Validation. Everybody seeks validation. I don't know. See, I think that's a way of thinking from this level. Because my standard for being is always that of someone who's super enlightened. Okay? So someone who's super enlightened doesn't need that. That's my standard. Someone who lives a normal life, who isn't enlightened, right? Who isn't aware of these things, they would probably need that validation. Of course, they're still living their ego to some extent. But someone who's enlightened, I don't believe that they would need validation. Awareness, of course. Validation, I don't know. It's an interesting topic for sure. Did I just change my clothes? No, I just took off my my cardigan. It was warm. The avatar you present to the world can enslave you, or it can be an expression of your personal art. Attention is dangerous and powerful, in my opinion. Sorry, I feel like I'm getting a download. You know when you experience like a really ringing voice? High ringing voice? Sound, sorry. Yeah, attention is dangerous. Seeking it, I guess, you know. There's something Osho says. He says, live in a way where you're not trying to be seen by anybody. Live as if you're invisible. And I love that. I think that's such a wonderful and freeing way to live, because the only thing we're ever so concerned about is what other people think, right? Because we're so worried about how we're being perceived at all times. Like what people are thinking, and then we live like there's a thin line between, are we even being authentic? Are we just trying to live to others' expectations? Who even are we? Thank you. Yeah, I just took my cardigan off. She's calling me lower level than her. I did not call you lower level. No. Sorry, I did not mean that. I'm not. No, of course you're not lower level than me. You are me. We're one. How can, you know, if you're lower level than I am too. I'm not speaking about that. I'm just speaking about like the different, everybody has, I believe in their mind, what's like a level of what's possible and what's not possible. So I think for what I believe is possible, I believe anything is possible. So it's like, I'd like to push the boundaries of what people think is possible in life. So you think that it's not possible to live without needing validation, and I believe that it is, because I believe, because I like to take inspiration from those people who have achieved enlightenment, you know, like that's not that there's a hierarchy, you know, we should live towards a hierarchy, whatever, but enlightened people kind of have it figured out, you know, they are one with the divine, and I believe that that's the way to be, that's the most natural way to be, that's how we're intended to be, and an enlightened being wouldn't need validation. That's it. But yeah, of course I don't believe that you're lower level than me, and I apologize if it seemed like that. Okay, you can look into a validation concept prayer. Maybe you don't. Maybe I don't know. I just don't believe it, but that's okay if you believe it. Of course, it's valid. When I was growing up, I saw how my father would often ignore my mother, and the impact it had on her was awful. Positive attention is absolutely required. Exactly. You know, I think because attention is presence, right? When I pay attention to something, I'm being present with it. And that's what we want. We want presence. More than just attention. The thing is, maybe people, like the people who seek attention, maybe they just didn't have people who paid them attention, who were present with them. So that's why they go seek it out more, because they just didn't have that. And maybe they also don't give that to themselves. They don't know how to be present with themselves. So they feel like, I need to do something. It's codependency. It's I need to do something to get something, rather than I'm just worthy of getting it. Right? Because the person who just believes they're worthy of getting it still gets attention, but they're not really necessarily doing anything to get it. I also speak like you. How can I... I want to... I guess what you're saying is, I want to speak like you. Can you give me a tip? I understand what you say, but I not speak fluent like you. Okay. Mohsin, watch people speak English. Practice yourself. Tell yourself you're good at it. And just practice. Speak. To live as invisible is the best way we should strive for. Yeah, it will never happen. It's like how living with no money and existing just in nature. You need money to survive. you need to exist in order to be taken advantage, not to be taken advantage of. Also, I was kidding. Gurmukh, sister, brother. Shared authentic presence is a hint of heaven on earth. Yeah. After so many days, we meet again. Hi. Hey, mom, I'm your son. My mom. Okay. Hi, son. When parents ignore each other, that is affecting the family itself. Of course. Of course. What's your sleeping? I also face a lot of problems in my life. Just patient, there is no way to finance life in the UK and very difficult to call me because £29,000. Okay, interesting. You see, so ignoring someone is generally one of the worst things you can do to them. I remember there was this like in school, there used to be this boy that liked me, and then I started dating someone else, and then he just went out of his way to not just ignore me, but to make me feel like I was invisible, and it was the most painful experience ever. It was awful. It was disgusting. Read the book. I need to ask more questions. Which books? Which book? This one? BJ, also when parents ignore their children, this is a massive problem now due to smartphones and technology. Yeah, Greg, it's really sad to see people on their phone. Okay, I was trying to, but the seat's too high. The book you read, you know. Oh, I'll show the true name. Yeah, I will read it. I am not in India right now, no. Yeah, so the children don't get attention, so they'll want to get it from somewhere else. They need to work for it, right? So maybe they'll act up. They'll they'll rebel just so that they can get some attention. For example, with me, I learned that I could get attention. Well, I thought I could get attention if I was good. So I had this focus of just being good all the time, trying to get the best grades, trying to do the most chores in the house, trying to listen to everything and be the most obedient kid ever, and then hopefully get some sort of remnants of attention. But I realized that it was very fleeting because it wasn't guaranteed. Also, to be honest, recently, it's something that, so obviously I spoke about this before as well, how, I started to get a lot of attention for going to the temple and to being this other person, right? Like being someone who I never used to be, being someone who goes to the temple and looks like a good girl or whatever, and then I guess I started to subconsciously rely on that and like it, because that's part of the ego, right? That's needing it, and that's when you're dependent upon it if when someone insults you, you take it personally. Because if you take a compliment or attention, right, or respect, and it makes you really, really happy, then the opposite will always also be true. So if someone insults you and you take it personally and you don't like it, then that means you like attention. You want that, right? Both things go with that. You're in your ego. But I mean just awareness, just presence, just being present with me, like listening. Being your complete self. That's what I like. Not necessarily, I mean, maybe at times it probably still crops up where I'm like, oh, it feels good to be complimented. It feels good for this. It feels good for that. And that's something I'm definitely working on, because I know that's not the way to be. That's still very much so an aspect of your ego. Yeah, but I think just awareness and presence is what I'm talking about. People, please, okay, thank you, Karen. People pleasing, a true trait in people who were traumatized as children, especially in women. Exactly. People pleasing, a trauma response. I don't feel safe. I feel like, I need you to make me feel safe. So I will do so and so to please you so that I can feel safe. It's codependency, right? Please reply to the land. Thank you. You definitely don't need the attention. You have a maths exam tomorrow. You're going to ace it. What more do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Just like bullying. Bullies exist because of the bullying experience they had when they were younger. Exactly. It's natural to receive some attention as a woman, Priya. You have to be mindful about it from others. See, that's actually also an aspect of the feminine, right? The feminine... She draws attention to her. Miss me. My hair. Okay. Why equals M equals Z. Okay, the only tension that is needed is providing, caring, and love from your spouse. Well, in my eyes, lol. Okay, I'm really struggling. Hope. Because I have no way. Hey, if you have hope in God, you have hope in everything, right? You'll be well. I shall take my leave now. Have fun and stay safe until next time. Peace, peace. I wish you well. Thank you. Okay, so the feminine and attention, okay? The feminine essence does have a natural relationship with attention, but it's not the same as egoic attention seeking. The feminine and attention. The feminine principle, so not just women, but the feminine energy in all of us, so men and women, is magnetic. It radiates beauty, presence, and aliveness, right? Let me repeat that. The feminine principle, so the feminine energy, right, within us, not just in men, not just in women, but in both, is magnetic. It radiates beauty, presence, and aliveness, and naturally draws eyes, love, and energy toward it. Attention to the feminine is like sunlight to a flower. It helps her bloom. She thrives when she's seen, adored, and cherished. This is why, for example, when women get married, well, men and women get married, the attention naturally just goes to the woman, right? Why? Because I guess she has more feminine energy than the man. So you see, feminine things that are feminine in nature draw attention to them. They want to be seen. So what's the difference between the egoic feminine, so the wounded feminine, and the empowered feminine? The egoic feminine, she craves attention to feel worthy. She relies on external validation. Am I pretty? Am I enough? She feels empty without someone's gaze. The divine feminine, she delights in attention as a mirror of her radiance, not as a replacement for it. She already knows she's complete and radiant. Attention is just an amplifier. It's not the source. She can receive attention without being attached or dependent on it. And that's the key. Math is the language of the universe. Oh, yes. Yes, it is indeed. Do I like math? I didn't used to like maths, no. Give birds attention and see how the world loves to acknowledge itself. Oh, you know, I feel like animals just love attention. Like my cats, they love attention. They want love, you know, the attention, be with them, show them love, care for them, touch them, stroke them, things like that. Excuse me, may you introduce yourself to me, please? Hi, welcome. My name is Priya. I hate the language of the universe. Okay, interesting, Sandeep. Tell me what I do. I always encourage my fiance think positive, but she always think negative. Always. I always say, don't worry, we will be well patient. Okay, look, Mohsin, what you can do is focus on yourself. Her and the way she thinks is out of your control. When you can be a role model, okay? Because look, we are not here to force people to be a certain way, to be positive, to do this. We can show people the way by being that way, right? By following that path. She will follow you. She could be negative, okay? She could be sitting there saying, oh, Mohsin, I think everything's gonna go badly. And then you can be like, all right, cool, you can think that, but that's not my truth. I don't believe that. I'm happy. I'm good. I know God is here for me. And then she'll look at you like, what? What did he just say? I want to feel like that. And eventually, you'll rub off on her, right? We become like the people that we associate ourselves with. Okay. I also don't like math because it's, okay, actions speak louder. See? So just be positive. Just be the change you want to see in the world. trying to change others, trying to be a savior, thinking that, you know, even being audacious enough to think that we should be able to change others. Like, who are we? Why should anybody listen to us? Why should any of you listen to me, you know? I have to walk in a certain way, and then you'll be like, oh, okay, you know, Priya is like this, Priya is like this, Priya does this, Priya doesn't do that, and look how well it's working out for Priya. Or maybe it's not working out for Priya. Falling is how we learn. It's a part of us. Exactly. It is. Of course. Everything can be learned from, you know? A smart person knows that you can learn from everything and everyone. Because a smart person knows, an intelligent, wise person knows that they don't know everything. It's the uneducated, unintelligent person who thinks that they know everything. What's true love? Okay, oh, I love that. Thank you for that question. I think true love is acceptance. You are true love. It's just being. When you're just being, that is true love. It's natural. It flows. Like I said, going back to the Tao, you know, when they say in there, good nature is inherent in all of us. No child is born racist. No child is born a bully. No child is born mean. No child is born, with bad virtues. Everybody is born with great, loving, compassion, kind virtues, right? So just be who you are. Be the truth of you. That's what I think it is. Okay. In free will, we must all change in our own time and sense of choice. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Welcome. We become like the people we associate with. If we expand on that, we reach to know God. You must become God. I love that. Yes. To know God, you must become God. Of course. Love that so much. And you know, it's something that like, if you may mention in certain spaces, like, oh, you have to become like God, like you can be one with God. It can be seen as what's the word? There's a word, like, oh my God, how could you say that? How could you compare yourself to God? Because there's a distinction, right? That we've externalized God. So we've put God in a hierarchy. God's like up here and we're here. And it's just very complex, it's very layered, but everybody has God within them, but not everybody lives life and lives like through that place. They have an ego that kind of creates a wall between that, you know? Your majority is too much, girl. I love your family. Thanks. Huggies. My teacher encouraged me, what happens if you fail? So I failed. And what is failure and what is success anyway? But a label. But the flesh would always be a shell on the self. What's your name? My name is Priya. Failure, okay. Failure and success are just labels, right? Follow God, but be not God. But see, true love is seeing goodness and God in others. Yes, I love that. Follow God, but not be God. See, it's what I'm talking about. S24. To follow God, to know what God is, you have to become like God. And just give me a second, I'll be back, okay? Wait, I'm back. The higher self, we like Russianness adores away the deeper self to give birth. I don't get that. When shell is a vessel and you can use vessel to reach God. Mohsin, I would really love to ask you, what is your measure of success? What does success mean to you? You know, there's this thing that we're always going on about, right? Like, we want to be successful, we want to be this, we want to be that. What does that even mean? And you know that guy, what's his name? He he's really famous in the like social media content creation, NFTs maybe. I can't remember his name, but he said to someone, you know, she said, I want to be successful like you. And he said, you have to act like you already are successful. And what, you know, no, not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not sure. He's, I don't know his name. Success is different for different people, Priya. Yeah, so it is very different. So what did Mohsin say? In my point of view, failure is a part of life to become success and life success. I believe in God. Will believe forever, positive energy. How do you see people who are atheist? You know, you can see things without analyzing them, without judging them, without trying to make sense of them. We don't have to make sense of anything. So I just see them, and I like, that's it. I can just witness and let it be. You know, people are allowed to do whatever they want to do with their lives, believe in whatever they wanted to believe in, live the whatever way in which they want to believe in. If they came to me and said, oh, Priya, we're atheists, do you think this is right? Do you think this is the best way? Do you think this is the way that we can always be happy? Then I will say, look, this is my opinion. This is my experience, and I think this way. That's all I can say, you know? But other than that, for me to comment on them, I don't, it would be futile because I don't know everything about everything, you know? It's kind of thing. Does that make sense? You don't have to own everything to be successful in material things, but people might see them that way when they interact with the market economy. Yeah. Vijay, what is your metric for success? And Greg, let me ask you, what is, you know, what do you think the ultimate success is? If I answer that question, I think success is waking up every day. That's success. I'm already successful. I'm alive. I'm breathing. Then if we go further, I'm healthy. I have a great family. You know, I have people around me that support me. I love myself. I'm loved. I can give and receive love. I'm already successful. We're all already very, very successful. Namaskaram. Karnataka, welcome. Success is being content. I love that. Yes, being grateful. You know, I think success is noticing what you have. That is success, right? And appreciating it. Your name, please, Priya. In my opinion, success is doing whatever you want, living how you want on your own terms with your family, kids, grandkids. Also, health is wealth. That is correct, Wave. It's look in the pinned comment. Priya is from UK. That's where I'm from. But yeah, I think success, sometimes people think that it has to be, I've achieved certain things. Because think about it this way, let's say you've achieved loads of things materially, right? You have loads of awards. You won the Nobel Peace Prize, for God's sake. Okay, maybe not the Peace Prize, maybe something else. Do you feel like success? I think success is a feeling inside of you. I don't think it's something external. I don't think we can take something and say, if I have that car, I'll be successful. Like, that means I've attained success. Or if I have this degree, or I have this award, or I have this, you know, whatever it is. I don't think it's like that. I think it's something internal. Because look, what's the point of having success if it doesn't make you feel some type of way in the inside? If you don't feel bliss, if you don't feel content, right? There is no ultimate success as far as I can say, but I would say success is being with the people you love, having a family, some good laughs and good moments with them, and that is successful in life. Okay, love that. Are you? Yes. I am Indian, so my ancestors are Indian also. You know, I also, if I really think about it, I think being success for me, I would say, is never forgetting God. If I can live life where I never forget God, I'm freaking successful. That is everything. Because when you have that, when you have an awareness of God, when you have an awareness of all that is, what can be higher than that? Right? I don't know. That's just my opinion. Everybody's opinion is different. But yeah, so there was another thing that I wanted to talk about, okay? Seva, right? We were talking about Seva and doing things. So in the Tao, they believe that people do. In the universal Tao, we believe that good nature is basic to humans, not because we are afraid of going to hell and burning eternally, returning as a low animal form, or suffering in our next life, but because we believe that doing good for others is equally and immediately beneficial to ourselves. It is a simple concept. When you are kind to others, you are kind to your liver, the organ associated with kindness. Your liver becomes stronger as you give it more chi. How interesting is that? So the kinder you are to other people, the kinder you are to your own health. And isn't that interesting? Because oftentimes we think that we can get away with being mean to other people, being rude, being judgmental, and not affect ourselves. But it's the whole thing. You are everything. And that is the thing that I think is success. If you remember the truth at all times, in every single waking moment of your life, sleeping moment, every single moment you are aware of God, that is success, right? You'll have great health. You'll have great material wealth. You'll have great peace. You'll have bliss. You'll have literally everything you could ever want because you have the remembrance of God. You know the truth. Being content with what we own and have is a successful life too. I agree. Success can divide into many categories in life and job, same way bullies hurt themselves. Exactly. So we cannot go out into the world and do something and then expect ourselves to not be harmed. In fact, you know what happens? So what it was speaking about in the book was negative energy, okay? So negative energy is energy, right? And energy can be transformed, right? It can never be created or destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another. So what we tend to do is, if I feel negative, if let's say I'm feeling negative right now, I'm feeling stressed, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling bitter, I'll take that and then I'll dump it onto someone else. I'll be like, ugh, and be mean to someone else on here, okay? I'll call someone out, like, blah, 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 you know? And I could say something really mean and horrible and think that that's okay. And think that I've gotten rid of that anger, that energy. You know, it happens a lot, right? Like we feel annoyed and then we take it out on someone else and we realize, oh no, they didn't even do anything. Not that you should have it. That's a great way of handling your energy. But yeah, you've taken it out on someone else. What you don't realize is that it comes back to you. It comes back to you harder and more, in a more worse way. More worse, oh my god, in a worse way, okay? It comes back exponentially increased when it comes to you, and then it's hard for you to hold on to it, and then you pass it on again, and then it comes back to you, and then you try to get rid of it again, and it comes back to you bigger and bigger and bigger. So you have to be careful about what you send out into the world. The body feels the vibrations of your emotions. If there are destructive illness is more likely, only you can know your inner temple, you and God. Yeah, very true, Wade, very true. That is why it is important to return to yourself, to return to the truth of life. Because if everybody knew this, right? If everybody remembered this one fact, that they are everyone, that there is only God exists, so everybody is them, right? Then they would treat everybody with love, because they would know, they would see it, they would understand it, that if I'm mistreating someone, I'm literally doing it to myself, you know. Okay, see, as you've just said, that's the ultimate success. In every waking moment, in every person, animal, plant, and object, to see God in everything at all times is the ultimate success. Yeah, and then hopefully in one lifetime you reach enlightenment. Exactly. What could be better than that? Because there are many things you can achieve. There are many awards, but like I always say, I love to why is this light? Why are you being weird? Okay. Winning materially in this lifetime is like winning a Monopoly. The game's over at some point, you know. You return back to your life. Sounds better than watching Netflix to me. Oh yes. And then, you know, like entertainment is just an escape from a life that you are not enjoying. That is it. Because it becomes, like, for example, with myself, it becomes increasingly difficult to watch entertainment. Like, I genuinely have to force myself a little bit, because it's an old habit. It's like, oh, please just do it, chill out, don't do anything today, just relax, watch something, you know, because it's like I associate it with, I used to enjoy this, and this is supposed to feel good to you, so do it. But I don't know, when I watch it, I just see it in a different lens now. It just feels different to me. It doesn't feel like food for the soul. And I guess I've started feeding my soul, and that feels so much more yummy than just feeding like ego and egoic needs, or like, oh, let me watch a rom-com because I feel like I don't have enough love in my life, you know? Something like that. Hi. Hola. ¿Cómo estás? My tea. Do I watch One Piece anime? No, I do not. I have not seen it. What do I watch? Okay, I'll tell you what. Okay. I don't really watch things often, but the one thing that I went back to watching is Nobody Wants This. It's on what is the purpose of this life? Does there have to be a purpose? I'm just being. I'm just flowing. I'm allowing things, changing, exchanging ideas on how to live, contemplating life. Okay, I don't want there to be a goal. That's the thing, you know. There always needs to be a goal. There always needs to be a purpose for things. But does there really? That's the masculine way, you know, the masculine trait. Not that it's just isolated to men. I'm not talking about exclusivity to men. Feminine and masculine traits are present in both men and women. Hi, Sameka. But the masculine way is like, okay, I need to get from A to B quick, okay? Let me draw it out. Because I love drawing. Okay. So if it's, would it be this way? Am I right? A to B? No, it would be, okay. Wait, does that say A, B? Oh, wait, okay. Is that correct? Does it look like a B? Yeah, I think that should be a B. Okay, look, this is the masculine way, okay? M for masculine way. I need to get from A to B. B is the destination, A is where I'm at. How can we get there quickly? The feminine is like, I don't really care which way we go, you know? Because I want to take the most scenic route. I want there to be beauty. I want there to be surprise. So, what's the key to be positive? Align with your authentic self. Your authentic self is already positive. Any negative thought that you have is not God. It's not coming from God, okay? That is you. That is a product of your ego. So become more aware. That's it. Just become more aware. You don't need to fight your negative thoughts. Just become aware of them. Yeah, maybe the biggest ever form of effort. Weird, yes. You have to unlearn so much, but it's also the greatest, most joyful experience a person can do. I'm talking from my own experience. Greg, where would you say you're at with your experience? I'm really intrigued. How old are you, Greg, by the way? I don't even know. I want to know where you think you're at. What you believe you're at. You are the key. Key to being positive is finding peace and love both within and within yourself. The not is my girl. Hi, Dave. 8. Did it look like an 8? I'm writing backwards. Okay, I'm trying. You know, the masculine and the feminine ways are good in different they are good in different circumstances, right? They come in handy. It is like having a pencil and having a whiteboard pen, okay? Sometimes I need to use my whiteboard pen if I'm going to write on a whiteboard. But if I want to write on paper, a pencil will be better. Does that make sense? Both are equally important. Both have great uses, but they're used in different circumstances. And it's good to have a balance of them both. We don't always need to have a goal in life. We don't always need to have something that we need to achieve or to attain. It's okay to just be and just do something for the joy of it. I feel like that we've lost that. Like, for example, kids, they play, right? Play, there is no goal in playing. You just play for the pure bliss and the enjoyment of it. Everybody is, not everybody's capable of becoming aware. That's interesting. It's not our job to try force them to become aware, right? All we can do is focus on ourselves. And what do you think? Do you think you are capable of becoming aware? Do you know Andrew Tate? Personally, no. I don't come across his content anymore. I used to. I don't engage with it. It's not in my algorithm in life or on social media. Animals probably honor us humans because we have a broader awareness and power. To be more aware is to be more powerful. Not man-made power, but true power. Wade, to be aware is everything, you know? You're spot on. Hi, Thomas. Welcome. I'm very aware. Interesting. You know, the more aware you become and you're like, oh, I'm aware, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm actually not that aware. And because awareness is ever expanding. I don't know. There are always deeper and deeper levels of awareness that you can have. Hi, everybody, welcome. What does awareness mean to you? You remember a lot from the age of 4. Interesting. Love that. See, with children, why does childhood seem so enjoyable? It is because you are so present in the moment, right? You are one with everything. You're not thinking, you're not stressed, you're not worrying, you're not anxious, you're not any of these things. You are just being present. That's why life feels longer, the days feel longer. It is not stressful to be aware. I thought that, you know, I had that thought too. That's a thought that you're having right now. Let me explain. I was sitting and then I was meditating, and I remember thinking, oh, Priya, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't sit in meditation. It's too it requires too much effort to be aware. Then I realized that is just a thought. You're being aware all times. Awareness is happening at all times. Effortlessly. It's just happening. You are just making it effortful. Does that make sense? It would be very hard to put into limited chat here where I am in my spiritual journey. I'm definitely I am most definitely going through an awakening and have been for some time. I'm a stage that Osho describes as the 3. You'll see what I mean when you get to that part in true name. Okay, I'm excited. You're 45. Okay. Love that. How do you feel? I don't... Actually, we'll scrap that. It's worse when you can feel what another person feels. Why? Look, I get that. I guess you're an empath. Obviously, you're an empath. You know, I feel too much when I allow myself. Do you feel like you're not able to handle what you feel? Because what they are, feelings are appearances in consciousness, right? You mustn't associate like with them too much, or but I get it. I think sometimes, for example, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, like I used to feel like this. I used to, if someone was in pain, I would feel it so much that I would feel in pain. You can have that without internalizing that and taking that energy and putting it in yourself and being like, okay, this is here to stay. This is now my pain. This is what happens in family systems. There's this thing called family system. What is it? What's that? It's a really cool thing that I would really check out if anyone's interested. Okay. Gosh, can't wait to share with you. Okay. Family constellations therapy, okay? This is a therapeutic approach that explores how unresolved trauma, patterns, and emotions can be unconsciously carried through generations of a family system. It is based on the idea that we are all connected to a family field, and unhealed wounds from parents, grandparents, and even further can manifest in our own lives. So you'll see how, for example, let's say your dad cheated on your mom, or let's say your granddad cheated on your grandma and she felt grief, right? How that got passed on to your mom. And then you feel that insane amount of grief in your mother, and you don't even, you're like, why do you feel this? And you take it on because you believe it's your burden to take on. Then you carry it, and then you'll pass it on to your children. You know, that's what's it called? It's trauma. When we pass it on. What's it called? Generational trauma. That's it. Intergenerational trauma. So look, other people's feelings, you can validate them and be there for them without taking them on. They are not yours to take on. Okay. You do have to be specific with what you allow, and you have to be very careful. Okay, so when I feel too much, the only way to get it to pass is to cry. Crying is an amazing way to let out energy. And you can let it out in many ways. You can draw, you can paint, you can scream. It wants expression. So you express it in some way. You know, they say that you aren't even crying if you're not making noise. When you cry, you're meant to make noise. You're meant to express the pain, right? It's meant to be, otherwise you're just sobbing. No, is it sobbing? Weeping. You're weeping. You're not crying. Babies, they make noises when they cry, right? I'm from England. You should get Priya to start Discord server so the community could share more nuance. Just a thought. Oh, I love that. Even though I was born in the 80s, I was still impacted by World War II because of the family trauma that was passed down. Wow. Healthy boundaries are needed. Healthy boundaries are definitely needed. Protecting your energy is one of the most important things you can do in life. Yeah, it is quite natural to be aware of others' emotions. Okay, Priya, do you want to start Discord? Yes! I'm not too familiar with Discord, so I've never... I have used it. I am in one Discord chat, I think, or two maybe. But yeah, we're gonna have to... Please give us your introduction. Hi, Anjan. I'm Priya. In this chat, we talk about how... loads of different things. We contemplate life, about the deeper meaning of life, how to live in a healthy, happy, blissful way. things like that. If you have any specific questions, feel free to ask. More about my channel, the chat, the live, any questions you have about like anything, just feel free to ask. But yeah, I think a Discord would be really cool to be able to share things that we find where it's a little bit more focused than the lives, because I know the lives can be a little bit distracted. Like energy, I mean, attention can wane and go off on different where happiness comes from, source of happiness, tell us. Okay. The thing is, happiness is I don't know about happiness, but happiness is an emotion that rises and falls. It's not a state of being. But what you are referring to, I guess, is how can we remain in a state of being that feels blissful and full of peace? Because being at peace and in bliss and anand is what everybody wants, right? So how can you do that? You can do that by having a connection to yourself, knowing the truth of life, knowing who you are, where you came from. Who are you? Are you Anjan? Just this character? Is this your truth? Is this absolutely who you are? Or are you connected to something bigger in life? And I'm not talking go through religion, okay, or anything like that. I'm talking about a God that exists. God, that is consciousness, awareness, love, outside of religion, because I know religion can be scary for people. But yeah, connecting to that part of yourself, to the divine within you. That's where all bliss and peace is, in my opinion. Who am I? I am consciousness. How are thoughts generated? Thoughts, you receive them. They're not really, you don't, they like, if you just close your eyes and sit, they're just coming, right? They're just, you're not creating them. Thinking is ruminating on the thoughts coming in, but they're just like clouds. They're just like, woo, and then you just have to let them go, woo, and just watch them. Rather than like, oh my god, it's true. Oh my god, I suck. You know? I know this is way off topic, but what's your understanding of Tantra? Ooh, okay. My understanding of Tantra. Tantra is a way to achieve enlightenment through embodiment. That is my understanding of it. What do I do for a living? I thrive means inner harmony, right? Yes, exactly. Inner harmony, acceptance. Source of happiness is within each other. It's easy to find it too. Happiness can be found within yourself too. Happiness already exists. All of these things already exist within you. Like peace, bliss, they are your natural way of being. Ecstasy is your natural way of being. Look at a child. A child is how we're meant to be. A child is happy, a child is present, a child is loving, a child is caring, a child is kind, it's having fun, it's playing, it's adventurous, it's curious. That is how you're meant to be. That's your truth. Go back to that. Antarmuna, I don't know what that means. Gratitude, of course, gratitude is you know, something that's very important in life too. Happiness is a blessing in this world. We taste it when we're young, and when we're older, we have to work towards happiness. No, I don't think so. I think that's a thought that you have that you believe is true. I believe that the less you do, stop. You know, options, right? There's a thing where you have too many options. You have option fatigue or something like that. We're unhappier with the more options that we have. So in life, we are so used to working hard that we think that we have to work hard to be happy, to have peace, to find God. But it's the opposite. You have to do less. Bye, Anjan. You have to do less. You already are everything that you want. Option needs to be selected. They do need to be selected, but sometimes when you have, for example, online shopping, it annoys me. I can't do it. It just, I'm noticing that my eyebrows look unsymmetrical. I don't know. Yeah, like online shopping, just annoying. So many options. Please, you know? Oh, Antar Muna. Close your eyes. Okay, Antar Muna. Makes sense. Antar, inside. Muna, quiet. Close your eyes. Stay silent. Observe your thoughts as they come. Like you were explaining. I love that, Arvin. Thank you. Quality over quantity. Appreciation over accumulation. I love that. Less is more. We all love online shopping. We do. It's fun. Shopping is so fun. But no, it's like receiving, like having the thing is fun. Going through bonsoir grande dame. Bonjour. Oh, bonsoir. Wow, Priya. I really forgotten how to say how are you in French. Bonjour, ça va, ça va. What do you do when you always want to be perfect and pure all the time, but you want to get the opposite reaction? Well, that's the thing. Why are you trying to be perfect and pure all the time? You already are. Stop trying. And what does perfection and purity even mean? God does not make mistakes. Lendl Singh Ji. The Creator made you perfect. The Creator already made you pure. Only your thoughts take you away from that I'm not pure, I'm not perfect. Maybe you're trying to live according to other people's ideas of perfection and purity. Are you talking from which country? I am talking from England. Bonjour. Bonjour. Ok, comment vas-tu? Je m'appelle... Non, sorry, je m'appelle lol. Je suis très bien. Merci. Oui, je parle français un peu. Un petit peu. No, that's a P. Un peu. Hey, my girlfriend broke up this Monday and so left me as she has she has no more interest and I'm exhausted after 3 days. There is my exam. Okay. I am Indian, but I live in England. She left you. She broke up with you. Congratulations, because something is about to change in your life, right? Great things are going to happen. When something breaks down, something great is on the horizon. So congratulations that she broke up with you. You're obviously going to feel exhausted, right? Because it's an awful, it's difficult to go through, you know? It's like someone just died, but they haven't died. They're still living, but they're gone now, you know? But things are on the up. So it feels tough, but this won't last. Okay, this is temporary. You'll be fine. You'll be good. When I speak to anyone, I always speak with intentions of widening their minds. Oh my god, I love that. Interesting. You know, I guess same, Mr. Singh. I guess it's the same. How do you differentiate between humility and perfection? Can you be humble and perfect? Or is humility a trait that's required for humanity because we realize we're imperfect? You know, to me, what humility means to me that God is everything. That if someone compliments me, it's not me that complimenting, it's God. So the thing is, the ego can become, it's the ego, right? I don't want to let that compliment go to the ego. I let it go to the creator, which is me anyway, right? So it's not stopping at Priya, because Priya can feel really good when she gets complimented. But if she feels really good, that's her ego. She feels good with validation. But then on the same side of the other coin, it's a coin, right? You feel good when someone compliments you. You feel like crap when someone insults you. But when I say it's going to the creator, it's going to me, but it's to the truth of me, to the God inside of me. And you can be a masterpiece, but still want to grow. You can value yourself. I just think the idea of perfection is, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think we need to let it go. Be authentic. Be who you are. God made you perfectly the way that you are. We are trying to be someone else, and then we become away from perfection. Who you are is perfect. Your natural, authentic expression, what makes you feel good, that's perfection to me. Sad to know that your girlfriend broke up. Allow the girlfriend to go. Stay safe and be happy. Many wishes may come true. Oh, thank you, Alvin. Goodbye. You do have the spirit of a doctor. You know, I'm gonna tell my mother that, and maybe she'll be proud of me. I'm kidding. You see who I like to like be aware of like what voice is talking, and I guess it's the little inner child in me who's like, oh my god, mommy, I want your validation. This is something I've been I guess going through recently, where my mom just hasn't been giving me the validation I'm used to getting from her, ever since I started on this path, and I'm trying to come to terms with the fact that I should not be needing anyone's validation. Like if she's not happy with what I'm doing or whatever, that should be okay, you know. And it is okay. It is okay. There are just parts of you that sometimes don't feel like it is. Am I a doctor? I am not a doctor. I need to get my mom on live one day. I will. Oh, my mom is proud of me. She is. I'm sure she is. Human perfection and godly perfection may be conflated. That's where humility comes in. My creator is always with me, like my own beating heart. There's nothing you can do to hide the realness. Yes, love that. Yeah, I'll ask my mom to come on live. It will be interesting. I'll try to get all my family to come on live one day. You as Scorpio and got your stuff together. Is it because I'm a Scorpio? No, I'm kidding. If that's your reflection, thank you. I agree. Our qualities are not made by us, but by God and instilled on us. When people compliment us, they're complimenting God and our parents or those who raised us and influenced us. Gee, exactly. You don't need anyone's approval. That's very true. Is England okay? Yeah, England's fine. Last time I checked. It's great. Mighty fine day. Yeah? It's a family member. Jason, come say hey. Come say hey, and then I'll get off because my phone's about to die anyway. Come on. Oh, you know a lot about my sign. Tell me more. Come.
No.
Hello. I know this is the question that twins get asked all the time, but who's the oldest out of you and Rhea? I'm gonna guess it's you. It's not actually me. It's Rhea. Rhea's older by 3 minutes.
No, 2.
3, babe.
Oh.
It's 3 minutes. Yeah, but people usually assume it's me, but it's have you seen? Are you acquainted with Rhea, Greg? I'm guessing you've seen her TikToks. Rhea is also, my twin sisters are also on this path. You look Indian. Are your ancestors from India? Yes. Hanji. G, India se hai.
No, we're not Indian, we're Latino.
Jason.
No, but you look Latino though.
Okay, thank you. But yeah, I think my phone is gonna die, guys. What percent are we on? Okay, we're on 1%. Okay, I love you. I'm gonna leave you. Take care. Thank you for joining. Bye.